You are watching Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am Will Scott, and there are a lot of trade rumors surrounding the Boston Celtics that we are going to break down. We're going to talk about three players that have been linked to the C's, and we begin with Dejounte Murray, who has been really the spotlight in terms of NBA trade rumors. There's a lot of reports coming out about a potential Murray trade. This is what Jake Fisher is reporting, a reporter for Bleacher Report. The Spurs have a really high asking price for him. They've told multiple teams that I've spoken to have called them that the price is a Drew Holiday-like deal. 3 first-round picks seems to be the benchmark. So I ask you, Celtics fans, would you trade 3 first-round picks to get Dejounte Murray, type T for trade or type P for pass? That is a large asking price for Murray, but what you would be getting is one of the best point guards in the NBA. This was by far the best season of his career. 21 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, 9.2 assists per game. He shot 46.2% from the floor. He has gotten better and better each and every single season that he has been in the league. This was a breakout season for him, and you rarely have the opportunity to acquire a 25-year-old all-star that is just now entering his prime. He's not even in his prime yet, I don't think. Now he's on the trade block. You have an opportunity to make a deal with the Spurs. Now, we're trying to grow the channel here on Celtics Today, and a way we can do that is through your help. Share this video on social media. So if you post the link to this video, and you can hit the share icon below this video, tag me on Twitter at WillScott44, and I will retweet your tweet. Also, go down and subscribe to the channel right now. It's about to get wild with NBA free agency beginning in a few days. You don't want to miss anything. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Celtics fan. So here is what we have to talk about. I'm going to try to break this down in the simplest way possible. So a reason that the Celtics might be in the mix here for Dejounte Murray is something called a trade player exception, also known as a TPE. So whenever you see in articles or tweets TPE, that's what that means, trade player exception. This allows Boston to add players via trades without having to match the salaries. This is created when a team trades a player away without receiving any salary in return. It's worth noting the Celtics have made a lot of trades recently. They have 8 TPEs that they can use. Now, they can't be combined, though, with other TPEs. You couldn't get a $20 million per year player using a $15 million TPE or a $5 million trade player exception. So it's a little bit complicated. Hopefully I did a decent job explaining it, but that is kind of the gist of what a trade player exception is. So let's break this down. Dejounte Murray is set to make $16.6 million next season. Last year, the Celtics traded Evan Fournier, a player that made $17.1 million. So because Murray is making less than that, he fits this TPE. Therefore, the Celtics could make this trade and do it rather easily. Here are the teams that have been linked to Murray. The Hawks have been very much linked to Murray. In fact, you look at these reports coming out today, there's a reporter out of Atlanta that's saying that this is on the verge of getting done. Now, I don't know if that's accurate. I'm not going to believe anything until I see a Woj bomb, but the Hawks are certainly the favorites to land Murray right now. The Knicks, the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Celtics are other teams that I have seen linked to the Spurs point guard. And the Spurs might want to blow things up. They're not really very good. They might look to tank. Trading Murray would make some sense for them right now. Now, the 2 point guards that I have seen linked to the Celtics the most in trade rumors, Dejounte Murray and Malcolm Brogdon. Which one would you rather trade for? Type DM for Murray or type MB for Brogdon. It's the pinned comment on today's video. When an ad break comes, go down. Let me know if you would rather trade with the Spurs or the Pacers. Brogdon would be cheaper. Murray, it's going to take 3 first-round picks to get this guy. Like I said, he's just now entering his prime. He's 25 years old, coming off the best season of his career. He's electric, but Brogdon would be cheaper. You would probably still have to give up a first-round pick or two to get Brogdon, but it would not require the extraordinary package that a team is going to put together to get Dejounte Murray. If Murray gets traded, if anybody else gets traded or signed, we're going to be breaking it down on NBA Free Agency Live. Begins June 30th here on Chat Sports. I'm going to be involved with that coverage, so that's the subscribe link right there to our Chat Sports main channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. That link is going to be in the comments and the description. I can promise you we're going to be providing the best free agency coverage on the World Wide Web, and also better than ESPN NBA TV, because we're not going to go into commercial break. We're not going to be doing our ESPN does all these random shows throughout the day. We're going to be live, and we're going to be breaking down all NBA free agency news and rumors. Another player that has been linked to the C's, someone we're very familiar with in Boston, Kelly Olynyk. Does it make sense to trade for him, get him back to Boston? Bleacher Report put out this article saying each team's top target, basically, one player that each team should sign in free agency. They said that Olynyk needs to be the top target this offseason for the Celtics. I beg to differ. He is set to make $12.1 million next season, so he fits into that $17.1 million trade exception that we just discussed. And, of course, he played with the Celtics from 2013 to 2016. Here's what Bleacher Report said in that article. There are two spots that they could shore up with a $17.2 million trade exception. It might be backup point guard or backup five, roles currently occupied by Pritchard and Daniel Tice. Kelly Olynyk is a good way to go for one of those boxes. He's set to make $12.8 million, so he fits into that trade exception. He's currently on a team that should be turning over more responsibility to the young core and is one of the league's more underrated playmaking bigs. So BR saying that the C's should bring Olynyk back to Boston. Do you want to do that? Type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comments section. Do you want to bring Kelly Olynyk back to Beantown? Go down and let me know what you think. My reaction is this should not be a priority for Boston. There's about 20 other players that I would rather have than Olynyk, and that's not a knock on him. He's a very capable big man, very reliable, was great for the Celtics throughout that run, and I'm sure he would be great for the C's again. They do need some depth down low, but he should not be a top priority. Calling him a top target for the Celtics in free agency is nonsense. There's a lot of other guys that I want to target first. However, I wouldn't mind bringing him back. I would be happy with it. You just should not prioritize Kelly Olynyk over a Dejounte Murray, a Malcolm Brogdon, P.J. Tucker, some of those other guys. Now we're going to get into this third trade rumor. The third one being trading for Patty Mills. Here is what WEEI's Megan Ottoloni said. The 33-year-old point guard is a near-perfect fit for Ime Udoka's Celtics and would come at a neutral cost for the front office. Mills could provide solutions to a lot of on-court issues exposed on the Celtics bench during the 2022 NBA Finals, and she has a point. He's a veteran point guard who could back up Marcus Smart more dependently than the scrappy but young Peyton Pritchard. Mills could also provide something else the Celtics were in dire need of during the Finals, reserve shooting. Stevens named it as a top priority when speaking with Media Days before the NBA draft. I got to say, Megan has a point, and here's what Mills did last season in Brooklyn. 11.4 points per game, 1.9 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game. He's definitely one of the better backup point guards that you're going to maybe go out there and find. And the Nets are blowing everything up right now. Wouldn't be surprised if Mills became available. He's a good backup plan, right? I want Malcolm Brogdon or Dejounte Murray. I think Brogdon is by far the more realistic option than Murray because I think the Hawks might land Murray. Hopefully by the time we're recording this video, that hasn't happened because that is certainly the rumor right now that the Atlanta Hawks are the favorites to get Murray. So I think if the Celtics strike out on Murray and Brogdon and some other guys, then Mills is a great backup plan. Get him for depth, have him back up Marcus Smart. Do you want to trade for Patty Mills? Type 1 for yes or type 2 for no down in the comments section. Go down there. I'm curious to hear what you think. Thanks for watching Celtics Today. Again, go down and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be bringing you every single rumor, every single piece of Celtics news we see. Subscribe. You don't want to miss anything.